Welcome to Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I'm your host, Jay Taylor, and I'm speaking to you from New York City. And this is the last day of November, November 30th, 2021. Do want to thank all of you for listening, making this show one of the more popular shows in the Voice America Business Channel. Also like to encourage you to continue sending along whatever comments you have about this show to questionsfortaylor@gmail.com, questions, the number 4, taylor@gmail.com. We do want to thank our sponsors, making the show economically viable. They are Noble Resources, El Oro Resources, Hennigh Metals, Labrador Gold Corp, Lion One Metals, SK Mining Corp, and Firefox Gold. And we will be hearing some things about Lion One Metals in just a few minutes from now. I've titled today's show, The Need to Focus on Income-Producing Investments. Adam Taggart and Dr. Quinton Hennigh return as guests. Adam Taggart's background as an investment professional combined with a passion to help people, yes, believe it or not, investment bankers, some of them at least, do have a passion for helping people, and Adam is certainly one of those. He really became concerned about a lack of education in our school system to teach people how to deal with the real economy and how to best invest their resources so that they can survive life's financial challenges along the way. And Lord knows we have a bunch of those heading our way the way it seems at this point in time. How prepared are people to face those? And Adam saw some real needs there. And so he started this wonderful service that he'll be telling you more about when he's on with me. You've no doubt heard mainstream pundits talking about the need to educate people. And certainly we hear that on CNBC and various other mainstream channels, but what they're really talking about is the conventional wisdom. And what Adam is suggesting is that the conventional wisdom that is being fed to the masses is not what they need to hear, because it's really based on Keynesian economics, which is leading the masses of people into poverty and servitude. So this is Adam believes, as I do, that we need to focus more on how the world really works rather than in terms of how some ivory tower academicians might think it should work. And anyway, in drawing from his own observations and experience as an investment banker with a mainstream firm, Adam now sees where the financial pathology that the left-leaning Keynesian economic policies are leading us. And so he'll be talking to us when he's on with us in the second half of today's show. He'll be talking to us about the need to start thinking in terms of income-producing investments. You know, we've had a period of time here when you've had various technology stories in the pharmaceutical space as well as the IT space. Lots of people have gotten very wealthy very quickly, not necessarily with companies that are earning any money yet, but companies that have this story and these dreams of making lots of money in the future. And so what Adam is suggesting is that due to factors that he will explain when we talk to him in the second half of today's show, there's going to be a need for people to focus on value stocks, on companies that actually can produce solid free cash flows and pay dividends to its holders. And there are some of those out there now. There are a lot of those out there now, thanks to the fact that most investors are looking at the get-rich-quick stories, the sort of really exciting stories. In looking at the kinds of companies that are out there, well, Adam will maybe provide us with some of those ideas, but one certainly that comes to mind, and you could say it's self-serving, I suppose, but it really is factual. The gold mining companies, the silver mining companies are doing better than they ever have, at least in my lifetime. They have very clean balance sheets. They haven't gone out and spent a lot of money to buy new projects and spending way too much money as they have in past cycles. And they're making lots of money. In fact, it was the only sector in the S&P, the only non-financial sector in the S&P 500 that was showing positive cash flows after taking into consideration inflation. So gold mining and silver mining stocks, I think, are very much overlooked. Those are the producing companies that I'm talking about, but they are very rapidly running out of ore. And so those are the companies that are going to need to find new deposits, and there are certainly some out there. Dr. Quinton Hennigh is involved with a number of stories that I follow in my newsletter. He talks about on this show. Companies, junior mining companies that are selling at very low market caps in most cases, that are on to multi-million ounce gold deposits and very, very large silver deposits as well. Well, Dr. Hennigh will be with me right after the break, and we do need to go to break now, but he'll be with me to talk about Lion One Metals, which just had some very nice announcements, very nice gold assays that they announced today as part of their project, the Tuvitu project in Fiji. And a very exciting story. Lion One Metals is certainly one of several that I'm watching that I think have the potential to become very major gold targets that are going to have to be pursued by these major gold mining companies over the next year or so, a couple of years into the future. I think the mergers and acquisition activity will become very dramatic in the next few years, but you do need to pay attention to these rising stories, and Dr. Quinton Hennigh will be with me when we come back from the break to talk about Lion One Metals.